Welcome back. Today I'm going to do 2 looks with the new Lunar Beauty Siren Sunset collection. If you're interested in seeing what I created and hearing my thoughts on this, or if you're just looking for inspiration for new looks, then stick around. Welcome back to my channel, but if this is your first time here, my name is Heather Eaglin. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you like those things too, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. Just a little information on what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Benefit Cosmetics blush in the shade Willa and the ABH lip liner in the shade Black Cherry. I'm using the liquid lipstick Abyss from this collection. Okay, so I'm just going into the shade Starfish with a medium-sized sweeping brush. And it's kind of like a little brown taupe shade. It's very pretty. And I'm just putting that into my crease. And you can see I'm trying to pack it on like I do typical shadows. And I'm realizing that that's not going to work because these are different than the kind of formulas that I'm used to. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good formula though. But I switched over to a medium blending brush. This is one from the BH Cosmetics Jeweled collection, I'm pretty sure it was called. And anyways, I'm just going back into that shade Starfish and just running that shade all along the crease. Now I'm just using a Singe Beauty EO2 and I'm going into the shade Shell. This is a perfect transition shade for me because it's literally the same color as my skin. But I'm just using that to blow out the shade Starfish. Now I'm going into a medium-sized smudging brush from BH Cosmetics. And I'm picking up this deep cool tone purple shade called Alluring. And I'm just putting that in my outer corner. I had a whole look planned like for this first one. And I completely went in a whole other direction, which was kind of surprising, but I ended up really loving the look. Now I'm using a angled brush. This one is from Glamlight, and I'm trying to just basically create a winged liner moment with that deep purple eyeshadow, and I'm just packing it on right now, and then I'm going to go in and blend it back out. I completely forgot to tell you guys, this can be purchased as a full collection, which retails for $87, or you can buy the palettes separately for $55 and the lipsticks for $18 a piece, but I'm also pretty sure you can get those in a bundle as well. It is all still available, and I will have it linked in the description box for you guys. Okay, back to the look now. I just used that angle brush and I pressed that shade on. And then I went back to that BH Cosmetics smudging brush and I just used it to blend that shade out. Now I've just went back into that Alluring shade. And for that, I'm just using a really tiny packing brush from Dew Color. And I'm just packing that on like towards the very edge and my lower lash line to try to deepen it up just a little bit.
All I really need is a little bit, not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit.
I'm sorry, I had to add that in there because it's exactly what popped into my head as I was saying it. So let me ask, for me, anytime someone talks to me or I'm talking to someone, I don't care how serious it is or not serious, no matter what people say to me, what they're saying or I'm saying always reminds me of a song. And 90% of the time, I cannot stop myself from singing it out loud. But in the more comfortable I am around somebody, the worse it gets. Please tell me that there is someone else in this world that does that, because I have looked it up and Googled it. It's like I have musical ADHD or Tourette's. I don't know, like, if that's a real thing, but please tell me someone else does it, because I do it all the time. And it's funny because when my girlfriend and I first moved in together, she thought it was funny that I did it, and she kind of played into it, but now she does it too. And sometimes we'll be doing something and we sing the same song at the same time, and it's just the best thing ever. Makes me feel a little less crazy, but let me know, do any of you do it as well? And I also use like songs and I sing them to my dogs, but I exchange the names in the songs for their names. And I know I sound like a lunatic right now, but they absolutely love it. At least I like to think they do. But yeah, just let me know. Now, back to the look. The only thing I did was I used that really short stippling like shading brush from Dew Color, and I just put that shade Alluring in my inner crease. I'm trying to do like a cat eye effect. I've only done this kind of eye look a few times, but I really love it on my eye shape. And then I went into that BH Cosmetics brush. I used the BH Cosmetics brush, and I went back into that shade Starfish to blend it out. And then I just put a little bit of the NYX glitter glue on my eye, and I used this very beautiful like pink iridescent shade called Pink Pearl, and I tapped that all over the lid along with a duochrome called Water Nymph, and I topped it with that. Honestly, I wanted to use more shades for this video, but I think this look would have been beautiful without the shimmers. It was a very pretty matte look. Now I'm going back in with more of that shade Pink Pearl, and I'm just topping it. I thought the green and the purple would be really pretty together, but then I ended up not liking it very much, so that's why I went back in with the shade Pink Pearl and I added that over the top. And now I'm just using my Sigma pencil brush, and I'm going back into the shade Alluring, and I'm just running that along my lash line again to try to re-intensify those shades because I kind of blended them out a little too much. So I'm just getting it to the level that I'm happy with. Now I'm just using a smudging brush from Dew Color. It's a really small one. And I'm going back into the shade Pink Pearl, and I'm just using that for my inner corner. It was a really pretty inner corner shade. Also, I wanted to say, while I was in the middle of filming this, 3 of my lights went out. So my lighting in this looks really bad. Like, it's very shadowy. You will really be able to tell when I show you the up-close video of my eye look when I'm finished. You can kind of see like the shadow from my eyelashes underneath my eyes. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. The lighting is a bit off, but thankfully I will have new lights here Tuesday and I can get it all figured back out. But now I'm using a smudging brush, and I went into the shade Starfish, and I'm running it under my lower lash line. If you guys decide to recreate this look, you don't need this palette. Of course, you know that. You could use whatever in your collection. I would suggest you do it with just the mattes, like I said. The shimmers are in this palette are so pretty. This is a new updated formula compared to what he had before. I haven't talked about that yet, but I think the shimmer shades are beautiful. We have several duochromes and a multi-chrome in here. And I had a great time playing with this palette. I think it's the perfect mix of neutrals and colorful shades. And it just so happens to be blue and purples, which are some of my favorite. And I love that it's making me play with more neutral shadows, which isn't something I do very often, but I still do really enjoy it. Here is the finished look. For this, I put the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner Amethyst Hour in my waterline, and I think it went beautifully together. I can't speak on the longevity for this specific palette because that was like the 3rd eye look I did that day. But I will keep using it, and I will update you guys when I do my speed reviews, which should be coming up very soon because I have quite a lot of stuff gathered up. So, and I promised myself I wouldn't do that again, but here I am. I will say also that I did get a lot of kick up in the pan with these shadows, and usually stuff like that doesn't bother me With the first look, I didn't notice any type of fallout with that eye look at all. But I will say with this one, I got really bad fallout. And it was kind of hard to fix because it was with that blue shade. And I tried to swipe it away with the brush and it wasn't going anywhere. I had to redo under my eyes. And so I'm just suggesting that if you do purchase this palette, to just do your eyeshadow first before you do your face makeup. Before I started filming YouTube videos, that's the way I always did my makeup, but now I do it the other way around, so I'm just still learning. But if you see me keep tapping off my brush, I swear I'm not abusing my brushes. I'm just trying to get all the extra, like, loose powdery eyeshadow off because it was creating quite a bit of fallout. Other than that, I have not come across any other issues with this palette at all. I've had a great time working with it. Lunar Beauty has the type of eyeshadow formula that you can build it up to get a, like, more opaque, matte eyeshadow. For me, I use a lot of indie brands that have very pigmented shadows, and you get, like, instant color payoff. So that's what I'm used to. But this one, you can get what you're looking for. You just have to build it up. And that does make it a more easy palette to use for somebody that's just beginning, or someone who just wants really quick eyeshadow looks. Or, you know, you could do more than just quick eyeshadow looks with this palette. But I'm just saying it's easier for people to use this type of formula than the type of formula that I prefer. But honestly, it just depends on what you're looking for. And I just didn't know. I couldn't remember what the formula was like. I haven't bought. Well, that's not true. I did buy the LAURALEE, you know, the full coverage collab, but I haven't really used that palette a lot. So I'm not really used to his formula. So it took me a minute to realize what I was working with, if that makes sense. And then once I figured it out, it was very easy. Just know if you purchase this that it is that type of formula. It kind of reminds me of ColourPop in a way. His mattes are like so freaking easy to blend. It's a very user-friendly palette. That's what I was trying to say a minute ago, and I just could not, for the life of me, think of the word. Here's where I got the fallout, and you can see I'm trying to sweep it away with my brush, but you can't tell. Under it was like very blue. I tried to go over it with some powder, and that didn't work either. I ended up having to wipe it away a little bit and then going back over it with concealer and powder. And you'll see in my finished look that under my eyes look so crepey and dry. It's not cute, which kind of ruined the vibe for the look for me. But the eye look was still pretty. I just wish I would have done my eyeshadow before I did my face makeup. You live and you learn, you know? Or you get loves. I will say I have never gotten such a quick and easy blend with an eyeshadow, at least not one in my collection. Personally, these, especially to be colorful eyeshadows, they blended so beautifully. I typically go back and forth a lot to get a really smooth blend, and I didn't have to do that as much. Usually when I edit these videos down, I'm editing them down from clips that are an hour and a half long, and you have to keep in mind that I only record the eyeshadow part. I spend way too long blending, but there's just something about it when it's like perfect and your gradient is just perfect. It just, or at least as perfect as you can get it, because nobody does it perfect. But it just makes me so freaking happy. So I just used my Singe Beauty E01 and I picked up the shade Shell and I put that in my inner corner because I really wanted to use this beautiful shade called Ariel. It's like a teal. Yes. And it's so beautiful. And if you didn't know, The Little Mermaid was my favorite Disney princess. So I had to use that shade. But I didn't want it to be as like deep or bright as it is when, or was when I swatched it out. So I used that very light shade so I could kind of blend it really easily and lighten it up some so it would still work as an inner corner shade. And I think that was a really good idea. I loved the look of it. It added the perfect pop of color. And when I do the shimmers, it really will make sense. Plus, I really wanted to do a mermaid look. I really love the mythological side, like, you know, vampires, mermaids, witches, stuff like that. It's so fun for me. So I really wanted to do a look with that vibe. And in the end, I was really happy with it. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think of this look down in the comments. And let me know which look is your favorite. Now I'm using a Singe Beauty EO5 and I'm going back into the shade Deep Sea, which is that really dark blue. And I'm just using that to deepen up my outer corner a little more. I really don't know why I don't put my hair up before I start filming, because it always drives me freaking crazy when I'm trying to do my eyeshadow and my hair keeps falling in my face. And I really love how much these earrings match the end look. They were truly made for it. Now I'm just using a really short smudging brush, and I'm going into that beautiful purple shade, Seductress. I really love the shade names he put in this palette also. But I'm just smudging that shade on my lower lash line. I just basically kept with the same color underneath as I did on top. I hate where I don't talk during filming, that I have the most serious RBF, and I swear I'm not usually like that. I'm just one of those people who are lucky enough to have RBF when I'm concentrating on something. And for those of you who are new to my channel and you haven't seen the video I posted on that a few months back, the reason I don't talk in my videos is because I'm in the middle of getting a bunch of dental work. It's a very sensitive subject for me, and it's not something that I'm comfortable with yet, and it's something I'm very insecure about, so I don't really want to put it out there on the internet, because as we know, some people can be very cruel, and I just don't think I can handle the backlash that that could bring. So for now, I just do my videos this way and hope that people will still watch and until I can get the dental work finished, and then I can start recording like most people that I watch do. And I'm really happy about it because I should be having that finished by the new year, and I'm so excited about it. But that's why those of you who have already subscribed are so special to me, because I know this isn't typically the way things are done in beauty YouTube, but you guys watch anyways. And some of you I recognize already when you comment on my videos, and I just really couldn't thank you enough ever for giving me a chance and for sticking it out this way. I'm not going to lie, when I'm like doing my intro, I say what I always say in my head as I'm sitting there, and I feel so stupid just like sitting there and staring at the camera like I'm having this intimate conversation. It's so weird, but I appreciate you guys so much, and you've all been so supportive, and I could truly never thank you enough, ever. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart for supporting me, because I seriously almost never started this channel, which now sounds crazy to me. But let's get back to the look, because this is my favorite part. I used the NYX Glitter Glue primer like I always do, and now I went into the shade Temptress. It's like a blue and purple and like a blackened multi-chrome shade. It is so freaking beautiful. It's like a cobalt blue when you look at it straight ahead. And then I went into the shade Siren, and I just put that kind of on the edge and a little in the center, because I'm trying to get it to blend out into the shade that I put on next. And that is my favorite part. My favorite part about this palette are the shimmers, but the mattes are really good too. I do recommend this, especially for the shades I've used so far. And like I mentioned earlier, I will have it linked in my description box. Just keep in mind what I said about doing your eyeshadow before your face makeup. Look how beautiful that shade looks on the inner corner. That's the shade Water Nymph. And I used it in the first look on my lid, and as you can see, it is completely different when it's placed on top of these mats, and it's freaking gorgeous. Please ignore my dogs growling in the background. They're fighting over their bed. And now I just picked up that shade Pink Pearl on my finger, and I'm tapping it in between the Water Nymph and Siren shade to try to blend it. You could see that I'm really feeling the look. Here is the finished look. I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Icebreaker. It went absolutely perfect with that inner corner shade, and I freaking loved it. Here is an up-close view of it. You could kind of see under my eye what I was talking about. It looks kind of wrinkly and dark, even though I tried fixing it, but still, yeah, this look is beautiful, and it really does match the earrings perfectly. I really wanted a new lip, so for lip liner, I used the shade Icon and Blushing, and for lipstick, I did the shade MAURA, and I used the clear Lunar Beauty gloss, which I freaking love, and I wanted to add a little more blush, so I pulled out the Full Fantasy blush palette, and I added a little bit of that shade Rose Skyline and the Gold Fantasy highlighter. I freaking love that blush palette and highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, and you'll have to let me know your thoughts down below. And until next time, bye.
Yeah.